In this program, Shepherd Sofa looks at a severe problem and one that is prevalent in Mpumalanga, runaway wildfires. Hello and thank you so much for joining us on Shepherd Sofa. The battle to contain wildfires across southern Africa is an annual challenge to which helicopters are well suited in the fight to put them out. Here in Mpumalanga, Leading Edge Aviation is critical in saving property and valuable assets from destructions of the fires. The company was started in 1996, and a few years later, Mark Jackson, the man and force behind the company, catapulted it to even higher heights. And today, the entire family is involved. Mark embarked on his adventurous journey into the world of aviation in 1974 in what was then the Rhodesian Air Force. He started his training as a flight engineer and not long after moved to Nelspruit, where he and his wife Charmaine started an aircraft maintenance business.
Charmaine and I started the shop here in 1981 purely as a maintenance rebuild center. And then in 2005, I'd been through the normal ropes of, I'd been doing the rescue work, I'd been doing game work, charters and stuff like that. But then my friend Tosh Ross introduced me to the firefighting. And what I liked about it, it's almost like being an ex-military airman. It has the same connotation where a bunch of people get together and go to work. And the satisfaction you get from working in a good bunch of people, very professional, from various different companies, is kind of how it started. And then in 2005, following the tsunami rescue work, I ended up purchasing a Huey from one of the families that were in Indonesia at the time.
So we sold everything, almost moved into the hangar because the house was hocked. And yeah, we sold everything and bought our first helicopter. And it's grown and evolved since then. And our children are involved, which is a big treat for us. We're very fortunate to have them involved.
Both the boys grew up in the hangar and they gravitated towards aviation from the beginning. They both have done their apprenticeships. They're both licensed engineers now. And both of them went out and flew for other companies for a number of years and then decided that they wanted to come back and get involved in firefighting.
Why did I decide to go into the family business? That's a very good question. We often ask ourselves that. I was living and working in Joburg at the time. I was working as a helicopter mechanic and a pilot. And I felt like I needed a change of scenery. We were starting a new project. We were just about to import the Black Hawk. And the opportunity came up for someone to sort of manage that process, run the maintenance, operate on the flying side. And it really kind of all the stars aligned, and I decided to take up my old man on the offer and come and join the family business.
Growing up as a father that's a pilot certainly influenced my decision just because of the joy that I experienced as a youngster flying with him in the Cub in the early days. I think it's something it took me away from the world on the ground and showed perspective from above, and that's something I enjoyed and always want to enjoy. So. Although I did do some studying and things outside of aviation, I was drawn back to it and absolutely love it now.
The Black Hawk was an addition that we actually purchased in 2016. It was a government surplus auction in America, and it was the early stages of the Hawks going into the firefighting industry. And we thought about the fact that the Hawk is a two-crew with two engines, and we just thought it would be a much safer option. And you have an onboard computer that will assist you in the case of emergencies. And besides the technical advances, there's also the characteristics of flying the Hawk in bad wind and hostile conditions. We do operate in the Western Cape and even the Eastern Cape on occasions. The major difference is we have plantation fires here, forest fires. Then in the Cape, we fly there for mostly farmers. There's not a lot of forestry left in the Cape, so we end up mostly protecting farms and suburban areas. So it's a more personal thing because you actually work alongside people who actually are living on the land that you fight in the fire as opposed to the plantations.
From what we've just witnessed, the team at Leading Edge delivers a sterling job of containing wildfires. On the sofa today, we have the privilege of the man behind the firefighting team, Mark Jackson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sarita.
Why firefighting? Why specific that? I'm sure I know that you were involved in other humanitarian programs. Tell us our views a little bit more about that.
Sarita, I've always had like most people, I think we're all the same, we like to help others. And when you enjoy helping people and you are a qualified helicopter pilot, you find yourself in a lot of scenarios, whether it's medevac, whether it's rescue work, looking for people, helping people, feeding people. And firefighting, you basically are in a position to do what you want to do, and that's help people, just from an aviation point of view.
But you do put your life in danger, because I'm sure firefighting is not an easy task and it's not safe at all.
It actually is.
Really?
It's like most professions. Everything depends on your attitude, first and foremost, and then the experience. And what I've learned, this is my 17th, starting my 18th year straight doing fires. And what I've learned is you never stop learning, firstly. You have to show great respect for every fire, the smaller fires, the bigger fires. And you have to have a mindset that says it's just another fire. Are we going to be able to do this safely and effectively?
It's quite interesting. I mean, to fight a fire in a helicopter, you obviously need to have the Bambi bucket at the bottom. So I'd like to find out from you, how much water does that contain and how much fire does it put out at a certain stage? And don't you have a lot of turbulence above these fires?
Sarita, you do. The fires are normally only out of control mostly because of the wind. If you don't have strong wind, you're not going to have a big fire. It's not going to be a threat. So that's part of the territory. So by way of the operation, the Hawk that we utilize is made by Sikorsky, and it's a very advanced aircraft. The aircraft is very capable of handling very heavy turbulence. So it's therefore a lot safer, whereas the Hueys have a limitation, being a seesaw or rigid rotor system, where you just have to be really careful at what you do. The Hawk, we're dropping 2,500 litres per drop, and we're averaging 15 drops per hour.
Oh my goodness,
Whereas
that's fast.
The Huey is very close to 1,000 litres. And again, you're working on 15. So you're looking at 15 tons compared to around 45 tons per hour.
Mark, I'm interested in, you've been approached by Hollywood?
Well, yes.
He's going to brag a little bit about that.
Well,
Tell us about it.
We actually had a surprise call in October. In fact, it was Peter's birthday. And the phone rang, and it was the director of the Mission Impossible series, a gentleman called Christopher Maguire. And one of the film crew had said that he was looking for 3 helicopters, and he believed we had a Hawk and 2 Hueys. And we said we do, and they said, well, please, we want you guys to come down to the Drakensberg to do the end bit of the filming of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. We took off and went to Bergville in the Drakensberg, met the people there, and we passed the test, and we ended up flying for 4 days, doing short and quite demanding flying. And the filming actually went really, really well. And at the end of it, I said to the chaps, the nicest thing for me was a small company from the Lowveld entrusted with a guy who's really well known, flying around his head for I don't know how many times. And they trusted us, and it all worked out well, and they thanked us for good work. So it was a great end to the fire season, a lot of fun.
I can imagine. Mark, thank you so much for spending time on Shepherd's Sofa and sharing with us your difficult and exciting career and what you do. And I really want to sort of, for me, it seems that you're the guardian of the skies above Mpumalanga. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Well, it's a great pleasure. Thank you.
Mpumalanga firefighters are ready to tackle the fiery challenges. The work they do is beyond anything we are accustomed to. We thank and salute you for your bravery and commitment. Once again, we fire fought our way to the end of another show. Join us next time. I'm looking forward to it.